We are only days away from the Switch 2 launch across the world, which will truly mark the end of an era that is the Nintendo Switch 1. But there is still one topic that, despite talking about in the last Switch Watch, is still something I want to talk more about. Game key cards and the discussion about physical media. Much like some game discs on the PlayStation and Xbox, game key cards require a full download of the actual game from the internet, as it does not contain any game data whatsoever. A micro SD express card is highly recommended if you're going to go down that route. Even more so, you will need the key card if you want to play this game. Some games, be it a Switch 1 to Switch 2 port like Sonic X Shadow Generations, or a new title like Yakuza 0, will rely on these game key cards if you choose to go down this route. In my opinion, the game key cards just feel like the worst of both physical and digital. On the one hand, like I said, you don't have the full game on the card, so this is not ideal for those who enjoy collecting physical media. On the other hand, this is not ideal either for those who want to download their games onto the Switch 2. And I'm not kidding, if I wanted the means of downloading the game onto the Switch 2, I'll stick with the eShop just to do that. Yes, it will be tied to my account, but at least I don't need a card just to run it. And the sad thing is, most third parties are going to be relying on this game key card approach when it comes to physical media. Capcom, Konami, Square Enix, Sega, Spike Chunsoft, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, and especially Warner Bros. Studios. It does make buying physical games on the Switch 2 less interesting because of this approach. Why would I want to spend money on a game that requires a download just to play it? And it doesn't matter if it's on the Switch, Switch 2, PlayStation, or Xbox. Some of us like the idea of collecting games just for fun. There is some hope out of this. First off, Nintendo has announced that they will not be using game key cards for their physical games, and that's a good thing. Games like Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and even the Switch 2 edition games like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will have the complete game on the carts. And let me say this, if I have to pay $80 just for a single game and it was complete on the cart, I would be happy to buy it, no questions asked. And Nintendo's not the only example. In the United States, Marvelous Entertainment has confirmed that 3 of their games will be complete on the cart. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar, and Demon X Machina, Titanic Scion. Yes, 2 of these games will also work on the Switch 1, but it says a whole lot that Marvelous is going all out with the physical version of these games instead of putting them on the key card. And I have a feeling that they could release more complete physical releases on the Switch 2 in the future. And believe me, I would be happy if they did that. But the most obvious example comes from the same company responsible for putting The Witcher 3 Complete on a Nintendo Switch game card, CD Projekt Red, which is also confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 will be complete on the cart. No additional download required just to play the game. Hell, considering the fact that they chose to own up to their own mistakes when it came to the original release of Cyberpunk 2077, and also chose to have the entire game on the cart, including the Phantom Liberty DLC, that says a whole lot about them. I may have bought this game via Good Old Games, but I would be happy to double dip because of their dedication to physical media. And it's not just Marvelous and CD Projekt Red. Other than the collector's edition of Raidu Remastered, which will use the game key card, Limited Run Games has confirmed that their numbered releases will be true physical games. No game key card, no download needed just to play it. Yes, say what you will about Limited Run, as they had some problems in the past, like the infamous CDR scandal for their 3DO re-releases. But in my mind, they have always been constant with their Nintendo Switch releases, and I have the library of games to prove it, which includes my crown jewel title from them, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Yeah, you got a problem with that? And on a side note, can we have more older cringy games from the past, just from them? Now that's worth the price tag, and then some. There is one retail store in Ontario, Canada that would be the perfect team to keep physical media alive on the Switch 2, Video Games Plus. Their partnership with publishers like Sega, Nippon Ichi Software, and Koei Tecmo, to name a few, allow for reprints of older Nintendo Switch titles, along with other systems. As a matter of fact, you can thank Video Games Plus for collaborating with Frozen Byte in re-releasing Trine Ultimate Collection with all 4 games on the cart. Even Nintendo benefited from re-releasing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torna the Golden Country on physical carts. If this is an example of why physical media still matters, I don't know what will. In fact, I could go a step further beyond just the Nintendo Switch or the Switch 2. Some people would rather buy physical media on other systems, be it the PlayStation 4 or 5 or the Xbox One or Series systems. And it goes beyond gaming. Some still have a collection of DVDs or Blu-rays of various movies, be it classics from the past, new hits of today, underrated films, or the most horrible abominations ever. I'll even go as far as to say that some people actually collect vinyl records, even with the rise of digital music. Yes, it's a different medium compared to cassette tapes and CDs, but I think people do this just because there's a different take on the sound, be it a more warmer feeling or the fact that the music is completely uncompressed. Perhaps there is truly more to physical media than meets the eye. I think as long as there is a demand for physical media, it will never truly die. And I do mean true physical media. And this is something that I'm glad Nintendo is sticking by. Just as more companies want to push gaming more to a digital era, more live services, or to be 100% streaming. But as I always say, only time will tell if we can keep the spirit of physical media alive. Anyway, that's my opinion. What's yours?